Hey everyone, Justin Crumley here with the Cujo Productions channel, back again with another video about the Patriots. Unfortunately, this one is not about a really awesome signing or some, cool draft news. This is about the recent retirement of wide receiver Julian Edelman. I have a lot to say about this. Edelman being a longtime player, and I kind of have some thoughts for how we got to this point. But before I get into today's video, I'd like to once again encourage you guys to check out my buddy Daniel DeRay's play, "Don't Feed the Sandworms," which is a Dune parody. I will throw the link in the description like I did for the last video. Basically, you guys can pay some money to watch a play that him and a very talented cast of actors put together. Again, it's called "Don't Feed the Sandworms." I have seen it. It's hilarious. Take it from me, guys. And I'm not all that familiar with Dune, but pretty freaking funny. If anybody out there has seen Spaceballs, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a lot like that movie, if I had to kind of give it a comparison. So, once again, guys, it's called "Don't Feed the Sandworms." It's pay any amount that you can. It's only running until April 18th. There's only a few days left, so be sure to check it out before it's over with. I'd really appreciate it. Again, link in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Alright, guys, so if you haven't heard by now, wide receiver Julian Edelman has officially announced his retirement from the NFL after, I believe, 12 seasons. Yes, 12 seasons. He actually posted a video on Facebook. I encourage you guys to check it out. I'm not going to play the video here. I encourage you guys to check it out. It was a really well worded, well put together video, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I choked up a little bit. Julian Edelman has always been one of my favorite players in the NFL, and I'll get to that more after I kind of talk about his career and whatnot. So, anywho, like I said before, he was in the NFL for 12 seasons. He was drafted in 2009. He's currently 34. He'll be 35 in May. So definitely at that age where the wheels start to kind of come off, especially for a wide receiver. And if there's anything I can define Julian Edelman by, it's that he was a tough little hombre. I mean, I've seen this guy take some nasty, nasty hits. I feel like I said nasty weird, but anyway, I've seen him take some pretty vicious hits over the course of his career, and he just gets right back up. And for a guy his size, you just had to know that that was going to catch up to him eventually. It's honestly quite amazing that he got to the age that he did, and like none of his limbs have fallen off. But yeah. So like I said, if there's anything I can define him by, it's that for a guy that was not very big, he was like, I think he was like 5'10", 5'11", something like that, maybe just over 200 pounds. Off the top of my head, I don't know his size, but he wasn't a very big guy. He's taken a lot of hard hits, and he's just getting right back up. Later on down the line, that wasn't the case. He tore his ACL. I was actually at the game when he tore his ACL in the preseason against the Lions. I was at that game. I watched it happen. I was really hoping that that wasn't the case, but yeah, that was kind of our first glimpse at like Edelman starting to slow down, I think, because this just happens. You get older, you start to slow down a bit, but anyway, as far as career highlights go, Edelman is a three-time Super Bowl champion. He was on the Pats teams that won Super Bowls 49, 51, and 53. He was also the MVP of Super Bowl 53. His career stats that he has 620 catches, 6,822 receiving yards, 36 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, I should add. He also has 413 rushing yards, 128 passing yards, one passing touchdown, so that's cool, and 4 punt/kick return touchdowns. So the numbers are pretty middle of the road there, and at first I was a little surprised by that because Edelman, I feel like his presence on the Patriots was very inflated because the Patriots never, like, they always had more of a supporting cast of wide receivers, and Edelman was never like a true number one guy. Now, there were years, I think, where he like led the league in catches. There were also years where he led the league in drops. He's been a very up and down receiver for the most part of his career. That's not to say that he wasn't good, but you look at his numbers, and the guy really, unfortunately, kind of was just an average kind of wide receiver. You know, again, more of a supporting cast kind of guy. Actually, I wouldn't say average. I'd say maybe above average, but nothing like too spectacular. But he did what he had to do, and he was a hell of a player nonetheless. Now, I do want to mention, while his numbers in the regular season have never really been that great, and he was never a Pro Bowler, he does have some noteworthy success in the postseason. He, for example, is second for most receiving yards in the postseason with 1,442. And he also is second for most receptions with 118. And if memory serves correct, I haven't looked it up in a while, the only guy in front of him is Jerry Rice. That's pretty good. He also holds the Super Bowl records for most punt returns with 8 and most first half catches with 7. So, again, not exactly the flashiest numbers in the regular season, but was always a guy that would turn up the heat in the postseason. Now, why do I bring all this up? Well, there's a lot of debate if Julian Edelman is an NFL Hall of Famer. Some argue that he is purely for his postseason numbers and the fact that he was a pretty key member of a pretty potent Patriots team. Those who don't think he's a Hall of Famer would cite that his numbers are average at best, he was never a Pro Bowler or voted as an All-Pro, and also state that simply only having good postseason numbers isn't really enough for a gold jacket and a spot in the NFL Hall of Fame. Where do I fall on this argument? Well, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Personally, I don't think he's going to make the NFL Hall of Fame. It pains me to say it because Edelman is one of my favorite players, but I just don't think his resume is quite strong enough. Yeah, he's got great numbers in the postseason, but his regular season numbers are just painfully average, and I don't think there's anything too special about them. Now, again, I hope I'm wrong, and I do want to see him in the NFL Hall of Fame, but I just don't. If I'm being honest here, I just don't think his resume is strong enough. However, that said, he is definitely going to be a Patriots Hall of Famer. And if for nothing else, because he was a very potent member of the Patriots roster. He was a great player, and he did what he had to do for the Patriots, and let's not take away from the fact that he was a Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 53, and he played a huge part in Super Bowl 49. I've actually had debates with people that have said that he should have been the MVP over Tom Brady of that game. So it's not to say that Edelman didn't leave his mark. I just don't think he left quite a strong enough mark. But hey, I could be wrong. Now I kind of want to talk about Edelman in more of a favorite player kind of light. Mainly because I want to end this video on a positive note. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that Edelman was one of my favorite players of all time, and that is true, but the reason he is might be a bit silly to some people listening to this. Not to get too in depth with like my personal life or anything, but I'm not a very big guy. I'm only about 5'6", maybe a hair over 200 pounds, and I've never really been I've never really been insecure about my height or anything, but I mean, I definitely, I have my moments where it kind of gets to me sometimes, and I won't get into detail as to why, but seeing a guy like Edelman, who is not very tall, like I said, I think the NFL bills him at like 5'10", 5'11", little over 200 pounds. He's not a very big guy compared to most, like, wide receivers, most players. Seeing a guy that wasn't very big, he was kind of stocky, short, seeing him do the kind of things he did, like when he made that catch in Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons, or like when he took that nasty hit in Super Bowl 49 against Seattle, and he just got right back up. It was kind of cool to see a short, stocky-looking guy standing up to these other like larger than life bigger guys, kind of like a Land of Giants thing. It was just cool. It was cool to see a guy like Edelman, not a very big guy. Again, maybe not an NFL Hall of Famer, but he still made a lasting impact. And yeah, I would always tell my buddies, like, yeah, man, I like Julian Edelman, man. Edelman's taking it back for us short guys. So it was cool. I'm really gonna miss Julian Edelman. I'm gonna miss seeing him on the field, but I totally understand why he is choosing to retire. And actually, something I forgot to mention was the Pats had actually released him after a failed physical, and then he decided to retire. It wasn't really that important. I just thought I would mention that real quick. All I can say is thank you to Julian Edelman for 12 amazing seasons. Thank you for helping us win 3 Super Bowls. Thanks for helping us make it to 4 of them and everything you've done. I hope retirement is awesome, and best of luck on retirement, man. So anyway, guys, that's about all I have to say. What are your thoughts on Julian Edelman's retirement? Or, better yet, do you think he's a Hall of Famer? Do you disagree with me? Or do you agree with me? Whatever your thoughts are, throw them in the comment section below. Also, once again, be sure to check out my buddy Daniel's Zoom play going until April 18th. Don't feed the Sandworms. Link to that in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell icon to get notified when I upload. And until next time, I'm Dustin Crumley, and this is Cujo Productions, signing out.